What's going on, guys? We have some major updates as far as software updates from Insta360. Now, I'm out here shooting with the Insta360 X4, getting some beautiful shots in this location. And if you guys are familiar with my videos on the 360 cameras, the one I would say downfall, or the one thing that slows people down a lot, is the editing process. And Insta360 just made some significant updates to their app to speed up that process. Because if you guys know, if you guys shoot 360 video, you'll shoot a ton of footage, and a lot of it will just sit on your hard drive because you don't want to go through the process of editing it, going through, keyframing it. And we also have some updates on the Insta360 AcePro, which we'll talk about towards the end of the video. Now, the first update we have is called AI Edit. And this one is actually a really good one because this is the one I've talked about a lot in my previous videos. When it comes down to shooting 360, a lot of times you're out there, and the reason why you want to shoot 360 is because all you have to do is point the camera out, and you just know that you're going to be capturing everything. I just have to hold it out here, hold it kind of towards my subject, and not have to worry about it because you know it's capturing 360, and all you have to do is go back into the software and reframe that footage later. And of course, that's when things break down, because when you have to reframe, things take a little bit more time, and that's what a lot of people don't want to do. Now, with AI Edit, the thing is you want to shoot a little bit over a minute for each one of these clips. You want to give the software something to work with. It does have better scene and subject recognition. So with that single piece of footage, if you want to do something like an AI highlight, it'll actually clip out certain pieces of that footage and put those together into a little highlight video. Now, while it's a cool feature, that's actually not the one I'm excited about. The one I'm really excited about on this one is that the AI Edit can actually pull out separate clips. And this is something I talked about before when I would shoot 360 video. Normally, when I'll shoot 360 video, I will reframe and select the subject, export that out, select my daughter if she's skiing, export out that video, and have those separately as separate exports. Now the AI Edit is able to do that and have it all within the app. So you have the option to either export them out separately or export them out as a full highlight reel. Another time-saving thing, if you are looking at getting into 360 video, they are just making the software a little bit better to expedite some of this process. The next new feature we have in this update is called movement. It basically adds some dynamic movement to your video. Now, normally when you're editing some of these videos, or you're capturing and keyframing some of these clips from your 360 video, a lot of times it makes it a little bit more difficult, or it can be difficult if you wanted to do certain effects, if you wanted to zoom in on a subject, if you wanted to have it automatically pan. Sometimes you don't want to always have to keyframe those manually. The great thing about this update called movement is that you're able to now select a specific part of your video and click on it. All you do is add a keyframe, a single keyframe, and with that single keyframe, you can actually select from a bunch of different types of movements you want that camera to now perform. Prior to this, you would have to kind of go in manually and pinch and zoom, add a keyframe and pinch and zoom and twist and do just a bunch of different things on the app or through the desktop studio, and now you can actually do it with a simple tap of the button with dynamic movement. The great thing is that if you did shoot a pretty long clip and you have a bunch of stuff happening, you can actually keyframe, add a movement here, and then go down the video, click and add a keyframe again, add a different type of movement, so you can actually add multiple types of movements within one shot. Next up, what we have is Quick Edit, and for me, this is probably still my favorite one to use, mainly because I get to take advantage of Insta360 software, which they call Deep Tracking 3.0, and this tracking system is awesome. Now, to engage the deep tracking, all you have to do is select your subject that's on screen, whether it be me as the person or a person, your subject if you want to track an object. You just have to select it. You'll see a box that goes around it. Hit start tracking, and it'll automatically keep that subject in the middle of your frame. Now, the main reason why I use this the most is because that is probably the hardest part about using 360 software, is keeping the subject in the middle of the frame or in a specific location of a frame, and having it maintain a smooth transition between keyframes. Now, with deep tracking, instead of having to manually keyframe every single position that the camera moves, the software will actually do all of that work for you. Now, the final update we have is Shot Lab. So if you're the type to put or want to put a bunch of creative effects onto your video, you're now able to do that through the app, and they've added a bunch of new features on Shot Lab. And just like the other parts of the app, which are pretty straightforward, all you have to do is download the clip, pick which shot lab you want to test your footage on, and then go ahead and apply that effect. Now, along with the update on the X4, there's also an update here on the AcePro. Once you update the firmware on the AcePro, you'll notice in the color profiles, there's actually a couple new ones in there. At the very top, we have standard, but once you swipe down and go into the middle, you'll see there's a new one called Leica Nat, or Natural, Leica Natural. And this is for low saturation, high contrast areas, suitable for urban photography, architecture, and scenes with distinct light and shadow. And there's also a new one called Leica Vivid, or Leica Viv, which is made for high saturation and brightness, enhancing the warmth of the scene with rich colors, shots suitable for family, still life, and colorful scenes. Now, along with this AcePro update, they've also updated the pure video mode on the AcePro. So if you know you're gonna be shooting in low light scenarios, you might wanna switch it over to pure video mode. This helps reduce a lot of the noise in your video, as well as enhance some of the brightness. And there it is, guys, the update from Insta360. Now, the one thing I did notice is that, yes, it is available on your mobile device, but as of right now, from what I see, they don't have it for the desktop studio, and that's actually where I like editing most of my stuff. So I'm not seeing it on desktop yet. I don't know when or if they're gonna be coming out with it. However, if you do wanna take advantage of some of these new AI features, make sure you guys download the latest version through the App Store, and hopefully they'll be coming out with the studio desktop version shortly. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. This is Alton Stasio. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.